welcome back to Say What Reacts. We're back again with another video with Carlos. We are continuing our journey into the EXO MVs that have something to do with the storyline. What's going on? I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. Yes. So next up is Monster. This is arguably their most popular MV.
Okay.
Usually if you see reactors reacting to EXO for the first time.
Yeah.
Well, now it's Love Shot and Tempo just because they're the newest releases, but it was always like Monster and then Coco Bop.
I got you.
But now Tempo and Love Shot are in the mix of that now as well.
Got you.
But all of those videos we will be getting to because they all have something to do with the storyline. So, okay, so we're going to get into this. By the way, guys, if you want to know what this song is about while watching the video, you can check out my channel. I have a playlist called Original Edits. I actually edited this original music video with the lyrics at the bottom, so you can actually watch the video with lyrics. So check that if you'd like. I can leave the link in the description. But yeah, so I'm not going to worry about watching it with lyrics because we want to pay attention to actually the content of the video for the storyline purposes.
Yeah.
The lyrics of the video, what they're talking about is they really like this girl, but they know that they would be no good for this girl. If they got with this girl, they would just completely ruin her.
So it's kind of like the opposite of the other song.
It's opposite of Overdose. Okay. Yes, exactly. So they know that if they got with this girl that they'd completely ruin her, but they don't care because they want her anyway.
Right.
So it's like one section says, "I'm creeping into your heart, babe."
Right.
And then it's like all.
And this one came out after Overdose?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, like I'll flip you over, I'll turn you around, I'll ruin you.
Right.
It says all that, so it's like you can call me Monster because they know that like in the end, when everything's all said and done and they're no longer together, that's what she'll probably see him as. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I was just a monster.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So that's the gist of the song. So they're
Is this like a counterpoint to Overdose? Like, is this the person that they turned into after Overdose? That they got played, they cut the strings, ain't holding me down.
Possibly, maybe.
Boom.
I've never thought about it like that, but possibly. They have like a little bad boy thing happening in this. Yeah. In this MV,
but they own it in this one.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, they do. I'm so curious to see your thoughts on this. So I'm probably gonna pause this multiple times.
That's fine.
Or I'm wondering if I should just shut my mouth, watch it through. I'm going to shut my mouth and watch it through. I'm going to let you tell me what you think at the end. Okay. And then I'll go back and I'm not even going to say anything because I don't want to influence your possible point of view at all.
I'm a baby.
Yeah. So I want to get your shut up. I want to get your straight up opinion on this without my two thoughts.
Right.
Corruption. Come on now.
It's a theme.
All right. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, straight away you can see the difference in their energy. There's that crazy table from that other video. And this one came out after the video we just watched, right?
Yes.
So they got that darkness in them. This is crazy. So I think of the videos that you showed me tonight, like this, like they're more connected than what's obvious, right? Because like I'm just bad with the names. The one after Overdose, where they're like running around outside on the train tracks in the woods and
Love
the
Me
labs.
Right.
Love Me Right, right?
Yeah, where they're like looking like they were like in a school or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay, they come to Earth. Boom.
Okay.
The Red Force is here. As it has exposed the beings of Earth.
Okay.
They're trying to assimilate. Right. So they're in the lab trying to work things out. Maybe they're running tests, running in the city, out in the wilderness of obviously where people are heavily populated versus where they're not. So they're reading what the natural planet has to give off and then what us as human beings contribute to our planet. Right. Oh, I'm shaking the table. So
like shaking the table.
So in that aspect, because it also had like that Mad Hatter, eat me, drink me. These are things that they're being influenced from the outside world that they're trying and maybe dabbling in. And that table's also present in here, and it's all broken and shattered. What's the other video?
Which one?
The one where they're drums, where they're getting played like they're puppets
Overdose.
or whatever. So
Overdose.
that's them being, falling in love with mankind, humanity, or a girl for that aspect of it. And that's also kind of like giving them a different perspective. Maybe they haven't experienced where they're from. Okay. You know what I mean? It's an emotion that they haven't felt before that they're getting played.
Okay.
We watched the last video. They're the clones. And if you notice in this one, it's like mad black and red. There's a couple of scenes where they're actually wearing the opposite contrast, the turtlenecks with the black turtlenecks with the numbers on it.
Yeah.
And they're all beat up in this one versus like I thought I saw somebody beat up in the last one,
which
but
it wasn't,
everybody's beat up in this one.
Yeah.
And it's like
almost everybody.
Almost everybody.
Big Hyun wasn't.
Right. But in the correlation of them like utilizing their powers to get out when they were together and they were in a space of mind, they were able to get out of that laboratory.
Right.
But they were also exposed to something directly of the Red Force that's implanted into them. Obviously, it's like showing out in this one, and they're not the same people from the beginning.
Okay, now remember, these aren't in order.
They're not in order, but there's more continuity attached to them because in that maze he never got out. When they got out of that lab, it looked exactly like the maze. A lot of those things are
they got out of the lab, but then it looks like they were still trapped within the maze, within the lab, within the maze.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
It was the layout was similar. You know what I mean? And ultimately, what they're being exposed to, this is like different journeys of. This is how their natural reaction was to something. They got captured because it maybe put their defenses down. Maybe they have like some kind of uniting that light force that I say that they all share. It was able when they came in contact with that girl and that concept, opened them up to be susceptible to an attack.
Okay.
It got their guard down. They wake up in a lab. Boom. Now they're running tests on us.
Yeah.
And it's doing that flashback of where they're coming from, being projected. Was it them coming to Earth or them coming from EXO? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a big gray area in what information was being gathered about the powers. And here it's just like there's something that's driving them that's outside of who they are.
Okay.
And like in this song, because it talks about in a lot of their music. Thus far, it's been a bit of a very positive thing, and it reflects in the imagery that they use.
Right.
And in this one, it's really the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like they're touching on a subject of them as individuals don't really believe in.
Yeah.
And it's projected like they're beat up, but they're also like being watched.
Right.
They're being watched to see the effect of whatever tests that were being ran on them, or the multiple tests that's being run on them.
What if this came before that?
I don't know.
You see what I'm saying?
But I mean, to think into that, it's just like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? You start thinking too much when you start trying to think outside.
Well, we have to figure out the story, like what, how to like. They were captured at the end, right? Like they're fighting against the Popo.
Right.
They're like literally fighting against the legit like cops. But what if the cops are influenced by the Red Force?
But that's what I'm saying.
Trying to get them?
No, I get that. I totally get that for sure. But they were locked up in an institution. That's automatically an authoritarian.
Did you notice though that this whole time, okay, so Baekhyun, right? He's like at the head of the table.
Yeah.
Right, and he's like planning this stuff. Hold on, I gotta try to find the scene. So everyone's kind of like fighting against like the cops, and you see like there's like the different scenes and stuff like that. But
we don't know what they're fighting against the cops for, because they show that scene twice where they're like in the crowd, and one time they show the crowd, everybody's digitaled out. You know what I mean? Like they're just nothing. They're just entities in the crowd.
I think this is the scene. Okay, you saw him. He's like sitting on top of all the security cameras.
Yeah, that they're watching with the red eyes.
He's at the head of the table again.
Yeah. But look what they're all wearing.
But are they meeting? Are they meeting together to plan? Plan what's going on, like what they're about to do.
Yeah, for that revolt, for sure.
Now, hold on. I'm sure gonna try to find the scene, but I feel like I've already passed it. Hold on.
So what's your take on it?
I think it might be right here, actually.
You know what I mean? Because you have your opinion and your bias based on how you perceive on what's going on.
You see how they're all like against this, but watch Baekhyun. He's the only one that doesn't look beat up. And he's like in this like what looks like almost like a...
Yeah, he's like undercover. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end...
He's wearing the suit and he breaks them out.
Yeah. He shuts off the...
the cameras.
He shuts off the cameras. Right. He rips off his facade and he breaks his boys out.
Yeah.
And so that's how they're able to escape it. Yeah. And they all escape.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't go too much into exactly what I think, because I want to really tell you my take on everything. Maybe once we're done watching everything, because I've seen stuff you haven't seen yet. So my mind's influenced by other things.
Yeah.
So as far as whether I think this is before or after Overdose and Lucky One, that's another thing I struggle with.
Right.
I think that this and Lotto this Lotto and Love Shot, these three are pretty heavily connected.
Yeah.
And I think Tempo is I don't even know.
You don't even know. You're getting lost in the sauce.
You have no idea.
You're getting lost in the sauce.
It's so
But I'm saying I'm formulating that opinion based on what I've seen tonight.
And what I think is really cool is you are where everyone was at in 2016 when this came out, because this is all they've seen so far. So I love hearing your idea and your thoughts on what's going on so far, because I'm wondering if you're at the same spot where everyone else was 2 years ago with what they had seen so far. Not knowing what else is also
And I'm not trying to look to see what else is to influence.
Right. You're just like, okay, well, this is what's happened so far. This is what I think.
Yeah.
And, and I don't know if 2 years ago everyone knew that these aren't in order.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if you didn't know they were out of order, you would think, okay, this is after this,
but you have to, like, in terms of when you look at a concept like that, kind of like the Rashomon, I don't know if you're familiar with that, or like how Quentin Tarantino makes movies is heavily based on like Rashomon, where one event happens and there's a lot of people that are present, and they all perceive the same event differently.
Right.
Even though they were all there. Right? So it's like, to say that, to try to come at this and look at it, because you've seen more than I have, and you know that there's no specific order going on.
Right.
But I refuse to just acknowledge that on your word, because of the same fact that all these events happen from different perspectives.
Right.
And every member has a different perspective because they have different powers, and they wouldn't put so much emphasis on them having powers and being individuals to make this big group if perception didn't have anything to do with it. Not just necessarily, because to say that they're out of order would agree that they all experience the exact same thing at the same time. But in this video, it shows that one of them obviously deviated.
Yeah.
He was stronger than all of them because they were all exposed to that, and he was able to still see it coming and be able to back them out. Because if it all were to happen, that there is one canon and all these events are out of order, is to take away that all the individual perspectives don't count.
Right.
That's how I'm perceiving it thus far. And that's why it's just like how I can see from what's being presented to me as the Red Force is influencing things beyond just EXO as equals, because they come from the same place.
Yeah.
That they're influencing the planet around them, and they obviously have pull because they were being tested in a laboratory. They obviously have some type of like force that works into politics and not just individual powers of just being like an evil billionaire that I've got my own facility, I can do my own test. But why just on them? This is obviously outside. Like this video shows directly that the Red Force is exposed themselves and are controlling the masses, not just EXO.
Yeah,
so
like
now it's
police.
like now they're fighting for something. Now there's actually, because we can kind of imagine that, oh, they're fighting for good. They're fighting for purity and positivity. Yeah. But there was nothing on the line. This video shows that people are being like, that they're playing for humanity now. People have been affected on both sides.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what I think is interesting. That's why, like, I think they're more in an order and they're connected more than what maybe we think than what you would think. But I don't. It's also one of those things that
I think when Coco Bop came out, that's when a lot of people realized they weren't in order.
Right.
I think I could be wrong about that. If I'm wrong, let me know, guys. Like,
but again, it's all perception. We all perceive things differently.
Yeah. But I'll and I'll explain why when we watch Coco Bop, why people think that.
Right.
But yeah, Coco Bop is so hugely there's so much happening in Coco Bop that we'll have to break that video down for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but I think that the 3 videos that I watched tonight are more connected and have more of an order than what I thought, because you were like, all these are episodic, they all happen on their same thing, and I'm watching them, I'm like, nah, they seem pretty connected.
Well, not that they're connected. They obviously are all connected in some way. Just maybe not.
But in terms of like of a action and reaction, I can see where a lot of these things are. There's a lot of themes that are in there that maybe get overlooked, maybe because it's like a style nuance, like zooming out and they're just in a different maze. Right. You know what I mean? But it's at the same token, it's just like we don't know what the game is. We don't know how they're fighting.
Well, like here, it looks like they've obviously are not in the maze anymore. They've obviously finally escaped it.
But somehow. Again, you've never seen the Matrix completely. So you're missing out. You're missing out on a big concept as a whole, because in terms of, you just can't take artistic, homage just in terms of music and dance. Like obviously this is a visual concept, and it's a sci-fi concept as well too. I'm not saying that this is totally what it is, but this is the feel of it. Because when you're in the Matrix, when you understand that the Matrix isn't real and it's it's an alternate virtual reality. Yeah. It's controlled by something bigger. So like when they're in that little facility, it's just those automaton nurses and just them. Right. There's no other force that they're trying to escape, but they also look differently. It's the best that they've looked, and I think that's a choice for that aesthetics. Like that was on purpose. It wasn't, we're gonna show off how good the boys' skin are and like their skincare regimen. I don't think it was that. I think it was to show. I think it was to show that there's levels to this maze. You know what I mean? And like in the first one, what's the name of that video? The very first one.
Very first one's Mama.
No, not the very first one that we did tonight with the first
tonight, which the overdose.
Yeah, the overdose. Like if you look in that, they look relatively normal, and they transition of a personality aspect of like they're after this girl that might be out of their league, but not necessarily good for them. That they kind of have like this. They kind of put on, like in that Wolf video, very like Rufio Lost Boys hard street aspect. And in that video, there's a transition. There's like what I've used to seeing them based on the couple of things that I've seen in like their live performances of their brand of being dapper, and being like future and out of this world in their own fashion. Like that's their brand. And when they're I'm sorry, I'm hands on. I'm hands on.
I'm like, don't shake the table.
And it's just one of those things that, like in that video, you can see like they're emulating something that's not naturally or to their character of what I've seen so far. Because there's definitely a difference of, this is EXO from Planet EXO under the robe.
I mean, there's don't forget, there's also videos you haven't seen yet.
For sure.
So they do have they do look very dapper in some things, that's for sure. And especially in their concerts. There's sometimes where they're performing.
But I think that's also like an MO to EXO, the group from Planet EXO. Yeah. That's what makes them stand out as a brand, because everybody can wear fly street fashion. Yeah. But in the other one, damn, I'm just bad with the names.
That's okay.
The second one, where they're
Love Me Right,
where it's like where they're in the school. There isn't that distinction of that dapper and street fashion. They have like an individual
fashion
of their fashion, and it's not swayed towards anything
other than the football jerseys. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know. They're young men, and trying to adapt to a world around them to try to make a difference. But it's like, is it too late? And that makes more sense in the beginning, in the very first video. Like, do they have the strength and the power to go on?
Yeah, like in Mama, when they're asking them, like,
right.
like this, you've brought us here and this is what we're seeing. Like, can we do this?
And we just assume it's on Earth, and we have our own bias and our own opinion of the Earth that they landed on. But now we're starting to see it.
Yeah.
They're starting to show, hey, this is the world, like, wherever they are, there's, like, social injustice. There's unrest. There's distress.
Right, and they're trying to fight against it. Yeah.
Or it's been personified as there is an agent on this planet that is it authority per se? No, but it has that how it's being presented in some aspects. Yes, so far.
Okay, I see that too.
But that's that's what I'm saying. And then like in the red and black aspect of it, and some of the cutscenes,
the outfits. Yeah,
that's it's like they were getting that darkness infused in them. They were how they reacted, and it's like ice water and blowing up uteruses ain't going to cure that all the time, So there's something
that was a Lucky One video reference. You have to watch that, please. The link will be.
But I mean, that's where I'm at right now, and I'm interested to see where's that transition to where it just blows everybody's fucking mind to where they're just like, wow, what's happening? That's where I want to see right now, because like from what you're showing me in this order, I'm putting a connection together on how I perceive it. But again, I've been exposed to a lot more other
like sci-fi type stuff,
other mediums,
where so your mind is thinking in different ways than just mine is, which I love. I love hearing your crazy thoughts and stuff because it makes,
and that's why I really wanted to do this, so I could show that it's not. I don't think it's just cookie cutter. Like they did put a lot of time and energy in this, and I feel that it reflects it all together. And I'm really interested to see what's next. What's after this one?
Okay, we're gonna get to the next one.
Bye, motherfuckers. We'll see you next video.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if there's anything we missed. If there's anything we missed, please
put that shit in the bottom. We'll look at it, and we'll try to put it in the next one.
Thank you guys. We will see you in the next video. Stay tuned. We're trying to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
We're gonna do our best.
Yeah, the rabbit hole's getting deep and it's getting hot in here.
It is getting a little warm. I'll turn on the AC.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's on, but I'll turn it lower. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.